It seems like every time you check the parenting blogs, there is a new, better, more effective way to raise our children. The newest trend is called intensive parenting. It's a more hands-on approach of constantly teaching and monitoring, I don't know why I'm laughing, and monitoring our children. Clearly, the thought of it already stresses me out. Not everyone is on board, so we thought, let's tackle this in Real Talk. Joining me to weigh in is the always fabulous Kara Kinnear, attorney and owner of the Punchline Comedy Club, Jamie Bendel, stuck around, and owner of Classic Couture, Amanda Easterlin. All of us parents.
They're going out later.
All of us parents. Oh, that is so cute. Okay, so who's the oldest here? Amanda, remind everyone your kid's age.
I have two 11-year-olds and one 9-year-old.
Okay, and you know mine are 8 and 10. Kara?
6 and almost 3.
And Jamie?
18, 16, 14.
I know we're busy for a while there. Wow.
Making it happen.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Okay, wow. So let's get to. Okay, so. As if things aren't hard enough already, author Claire Cain Miller's piece in the New York Times, and it went viral, is really calling attention to this controversial intensive parenting trend. She says, quote, parents have greatly increased the amount of time, attention, and money they put into raising children. The reason why? Economic anxiety, or making sure our kids will turn out more, or at least as prosperous as parents. So guys, what do you think about this, Kara?
Well, I was just thinking, somebody made a really good point the other day that Dr. V, I think we had her on the show on a satellite one time, but she was saying that the problem, in her opinion, to parenting now is that we listen to so many other outside sources, whether it be economic anxiety, that we totally have lost our way to parent by instinct. And like oftentimes our instincts are the best for our children, but we have all these outside pressures that are constantly steering us away from what we know is right.
Right. Now,
or at least right for your child.
Right. Now with social media, our parents maybe had books, but certainly not the way we are bombarded with podcasts, the news, books, of course, peers, everybody who seems to have a new approach. It really is overwhelming.
So, what was the old song that the Buffalo Springfield Teach Your Children Well? Was there some song?
Teach your children well.
If you listen to that like once a day,
that's all I know.
You can turn off the blogs and turn off the videos. Just listen to that once.
Listen to that song.
Okay.
Where you're getting ready to shout, because it's kind of everything you need right there. It's got everything you need. Just teach your children well.
Yes. And Amanda, I mean, things are hard enough as it is.
Right.
What are you thinking about? Well, first of all, let's touch upon the fact that economic anxiety. I think that is very real, especially when you look at what our children are dealing with when it comes to debt from college.
Well, yeah.
They are leaving college in so much, having so much student loan debt, and so it is in many cases kids are moving back in. So I can see that as a real anxiety, but how does that change our focus? Or shift our focus even in more so than we already are as parents?
Right.
Well, you can look at that in two tracks, right? So what's the popularity of the woman with the decluttering? Right, that's the big thing, and it's talking about we are just, our lives are cluttered. Well, in the same way, we've kind of cluttered up the way, like Kara's discussing, the way in which we're supposed to parent. So economic anxiety comes from the fact that we've moved away from being able to stay in one job for an extended time period, not have the same kind of health care concerns, maybe have a pension, and as those things are sort of chipped away, it is hard to look ahead and say, can this generation do better than the generation that came before it? Right. So that's a problem that extends far beyond, am I raising my kid to be a good kid? Am I getting him into the right activities? Am I teaching them to be, so there's a lot that's oriented towards just simplify and get back to basics.
Yes,
absolutely. I feel the same pressures too, and since mine are a little bit younger, it was correcting all of their deficits or deficiencies before they were the age of 6. And so there's tutoring, and all these bills are building up. And I just remember just even before they were born, getting bombarded with applications I had to sign them up for programs before they were born. And I'm thinking, I haven't even committed to your name.
I know.
But I've committed you to the best soccer league you'll ever be. And you're going to be amazing.
But we don't know what we're going to call call you little thing, but yes.
You can start with 24. We're going to call you 24.
Exactly.
Get in there.
Yeah.
Right. And Amanda in the commercial break was empathizing with me with, you know, having 2 children, Caroline right now being the priority of really trying to nail down some of her learning issues. So we're getting her retested, and that's why Kara's my emergency number now. But it really is the price tag. So I already feel like that you're trying to do so much in that regard, but really just going back to the simple activities of quality time. That's all, like you said, and that's what other people will argue. Forget all this other stuff about all this time and just get back to the basics.
Right, exactly, and spending time with them. And I turn into, if you were on Peachtree Street at 3 p.m., I turn into like a angry person. I'm driving, I'm throwing kids out to the left, to the right. Yeah. It's not bringing out the best in me, but I'm trying to get them to tutoring. Well, then also basketballs, and I've scheduled them all up because as the older they get, will they not make the team because they didn't start when they were 3? Right,
right.
So,
see, I don't care.
Do you?
I know I will care when my kids start asking about it and their friends are all doing it, but right now I have no... I see, like, I'm listening to you talk and I'm thinking, gosh, that's amazing. I wish I could be more like that. Because if the applications came to me, I'd throw them in the trash.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not right now.
But I know that that's like a Pollyanna thing to say because I don't have the pressure from anybody else. Maybe because my husband also is like, whatever.
Right.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You and your spouse have to be on the same page about the extensive, whether it's activities like, you know, for Jim, I said, look, you know, they have so much tutoring, maybe 2 activity, you know, we've got to find a balance here. I want them to have fun, but so you also have to be on the same page, and we are pretty aligned when it comes to. You know,
see, I don't want you raging down Peachtree.
Yeah,
I don't want
you. Don't be a Peachtree rage driver.
Somebody then who is reading this and probably going, what, is an author of something called Bare Minimum Parenting. Sounds like we all will like this, where they're saying that we're in an over-parenting culture. Quote, all that extra effort seems pointless since most kids grow up to lead equally ordinary lives.
Oh, God, that's sad.
That is sad, and I don't like that aspect of it.
Yeah.
Since all kids end up about the same, I honestly think your kid will be better off in the long run, relating to your point, Amanda, if you relax and do less than if you're stressed out and do more.
Well, yeah.
Makes sense?
So the best thing that you can tell your child is, I enjoy your company. I like spending time with you. When you say something that's funny, I laugh, and I laugh sincerely. When you do the little show in the kitchen or in the backyard or whatever. So there's a lot of times to be a parent. So it doesn't matter necessarily. Well, if you do sports, hopefully you have a coach who says, act like you've been there before. Yeah. And that's a great way to live life. Act like you've been there before when times are good. Yeah. Act like you've been there before when times get challenging. Very few of us lead a life where it's all flat and even. There's peaks, there's valleys.
So
we rely on our friendships, we rely on our professional relationships, and ultimately we go back to family. Yeah. So from my perspective, parenting isn't a job that ends on an 18th birthday. There are things that I still seek out my parents' counsel on.
Of course.
And hopefully we're all fortunate later in life to have our children seek our input. Not because we're instructing them how to be, but because they trust the advice that we give them because we've established some credibility with them.
Exactly. And just talking about, the author actually gave us a few examples of signs that you are over-parenting. You've canceled major holidays to accommodate your kids' schedules, their sports schedules.
I did that.
You did that. Amanda, have you done that yet?
It goes on the calendar, and we schedule around dance competitions. Yeah. We do.
Yeah. Kara, not yet.
Not yet.
I had where I posted on Instagram that I was doing a race. I wanted to do it on my birthday weekend, and families like, we want to come up, and then one of the moms was like, they have a cheer competition in Fort Walton Beach that weekend, and I was like, oh, okay, good point. Yeah. 50th birthday weekend, we'll have to wait till the next weekend. But I can't not be there.
Yeah. Right, and the kids are holding me accountable to this too. Not only, that's what I find is my kids will come to me and be like, so-and-so's mom's doing this and that, and why aren't you out in the crowd? Because I set that precedence from the beginning.
Right.
They see me out the crowd every single time.
Kara, you don't have that yet, but she's,
Well, but so at some point, like, so my daughter's graduating from high school this year, and I've got another one right behind it, and there is a certain portion of ending that she has done a lot of theater shows, but it's unlikely as an adult she'll continue to be a performer. So I'll cherish these opportunities because I know they're getting fewer with this particular child. And you know, we did fly back from a family vacation to compete in part of the state champion eight and under girls medley relay in Carrollton.
Oh my God!
They can't take that away.
That's right. Kara wanted to add to something.
I was going to say that to me, listening to us talk about all this, it's like, more importantly, meeting people where they are and thinking, okay, how do we teach our children that they are so privileged that they have the opportunity to do all of these things. A lot of people can't do these things. A lot of people have to work 3 jobs and their kids don't get shuttled around. They never get that interaction with their parents, you know? So it's just like, how do you make them know that that is also a reality for a lot of people?
Yes, shift the perspective too from their point of view. Like, you have no idea how lucky.
And they're like,
I know. They're like, I don't care that this is costing us $3 grand.
So, well, and it's easy sometimes to listen to. So I have a bad habit. My parenting bad habit is I ignore the girls when they say no. So for years they would say, I don't want to, and I'd be like, great, get in the car. Because it was some sort of adventure. Like, we're going to go, even if it was to run up to the lake a little bit to go swim, and they're like, I don't want to, we're going. And then on the way home, they're always like, oh, that was the best.
Right.
And so Kara said at the beginning, which I think was the spot on, trust your instincts. Right?
Trust your instincts, and let's play that song. Okay, last remaining minute. Your only hobby is your kid. Amanda, your kids. That's how you know you're overparenting.
No, that's not my only hobby, but I have adjusted my hobbies to accommodate them.
Okay, well, same, the teacher, Kara, is this true? The teacher lets out a sigh every time they hear from you?
Oh, I hope not. I hope not. Usually if you hear from me, I'm like, do you need anything?
Yes.
I'm saying, don't call me, I won't call you, is what I go with.
Okay, you've never thought about what your life will be like when your kids grow up and move out?
This is on my mind every day, Christine. Thanks for bringing it up, buddy. I appreciate that.
I'm so sorry.
Can you zoom in on my tears welling in my eyes as you're asking the question?
Okay, wait, you make your kid see a tutor for more hours a week than they see you. Well, almost. No, I'm kidding.
No, I mean,
no. But I mean, if they need the help, I mean, I don't know. We would love for you guys to weigh in. You know, which are you? Are you the minimalistic parent, or are you really into this intensive parenting? And tell us why one side or the other do you think is more preferred and is going to raise a better child?
We're probably only going to hear feedback from the intensive parents while their kids doing the activity.
That's true.
I'm a minimalist trapped in an intensive parenting.
Oh, yes. Very well said. Very well said. Weigh in on it. And Trending with Trent is coming up.